Hi, this is Duckphone, and welcome to episode 3 of the Gor-Rok Beginner's Campaign Guide. In the last episode, we took the fight to the rats directly, going to their capital city of Oxel. We defeated Ian... oh gosh, what's this guy's name again? Ian Roxborough, and Lord Scroll himself, the Plague Master, in a big fight. However, we have to finish them off and try to take their capital. They may have gotten some extra cities out here that we don't know about, but we're going to have to figure that out after we take this fight. One thing before I start, however, is there is a slight change to my mod list. Nothing big, but I had essentially all the DLC in this game except for one thing, which was a like $3 DLC Blood and Gore pack, which I wasn't opposed to getting, but I never got it because the blood was just so much. It was like a Tarantino movie. I didn't really want to have my armies just totally drenched in blood, so I never downloaded it. Then I figured out that the blood pack actually has new animations, different ways that, you know, they kill each other, beheadings, monsters eating people, and I was like, wait, I need that. I need that in the game now, but I still didn't want my army to be drenched in blood. So I found a mod that basically takes that DLC and just brings the blood down a little bit, to a more reasonable level. So I do have that now. Alright, let's not waste any more time, and let's go ahead and take this next fight, which we should be able to do, because we wounded them pretty severely, and they haven't actually replenished yet. So you can see this little light green bar, you can kind of see it here. You can see it better here. So this little light green bar shows how much they're going to get on their next turn, right? And it's still our turn. It hasn't gotten their turn yet. So alright, let's go ahead and take this. So again, this shows the balance power is relatively even. However, I think we're going to be fine. They're damaged enough that once we do some big explosions, they're just going to start running. But you may notice I can't attack. Reason why is that this is a siege battle and they have walls. So if we hit the scout terrain button, we will see that once it loads, we'll see that they have a gate here, and there are the walls right there. This is our deployment zone. We don't have any big dinosaurs yet to just slam through the gates, so we have to build some siege equipment. That being said, they may just attack us as we're building it, which would be fine. But let's go ahead and start by building a battering ram, which will take one turn. You can kind of see how much labor force you have in the army, and how much labor force is available per turn. And then since this costs 6, it's going to take one turn, whereas this is going to take 3 turns from now, because this is going to take 2 turns by itself. But every siege tower you build is actually 2 siege towers. So we'll just do this for now. I'm pretty sure we're just going to attack once we build the ram. And then we can hit continue siege. When you are sieging a place, if there's an army inside, like that shows that they're garrisoned, they aren't able to recruit, and they also are not able to heal, which is very important. These guys, however, will still heal, so that's something we have to keep in mind. We probably would have attacked them if we could have reached them, but we didn't have enough movement. Alright, but with that, we'll go to the next turn. I guess since we have still some skills to go over, we may as well do that. Eventually, I may start cutting out the end turn times. But also, it may be pertinent to keep the end turn times in some cases because... oh, okay, well, this is important. Let me finish my original thought, though. It may be important to keep the end turn times in some cases because it'll show enemy troop movements, you know, enemy armies, and you'll see that during the end turn. So it's probably important to keep in mind. So right now, this is called an underway interception. The rats, they can travel underground. We can't, they can. But every time they travel underground by an enemy army, there's a chance that they could get intercepted in the underway, right? When that happens, we basically, if we win the fight, even if we don't kill them all, they will all die. That's how an underway interception works. So it's like a little bonus for catching them. So the balance of power is just hugely in our favor right now. So just to save time, so we can continue this campaign going, we're going to auto-resolve this one. We're going to lose probably very little. So, do that. Only lost 30. And while replenishment wouldn't be bad, I'm going to go for the experience. So we're going to exterminate him. Ooh, we encountered a new faction. This is the faction led by Nakai the Wanderer, one of the other legendary Lizardman Lords. We also gained a rank from that, which is nice. So that means we're definitely going to attack on our next turn, because they don't have those extra reinforcements. With a battering ram, it's going to be very smooth. The Dark Elves may cause some problems, though. We'll have to keep them in mind. So I guess we'll go look at some skills. I don't know. Might not be much time left. But so let's go ahead and look at, I think, what we were on. Let's go ahead and look at these. So this is every legendary lord has like some special line somewhere that's like unique to them. This is Gor-Rok's special line, and they might have some other ones up here or something, but these start to be available at rank 10, so can't get them yet. But as I said, this one gives him perfect vigor, so he never gets tired. Physical resistance. This one gives him some extra melee defense, magic resistance. This one's really good if you continue to keep source units in the army, which I'm planning on doing. Physical resistance 10% for them, and melee defense. Unflinching is it's the end. Back to the start of my turn. We'll continue that later. All right, but let's level them up. So this one right here is leadership aura size plus 50%. So his circle of leadership buffs that he provides, basically his inspiring presence on the battlefield, is increased. So he affects units further away. It's definitely a good one. Alright, so we have to level him up. We're probably just going to continue going down the yellow line right now, but this is really pertinent. This weapon strength that goes up by 2% or 10% when fighting against Skaven, that's really pertinent. And the next rank actually applies to Dark Elves as well, which is also really pertinent. So we're going to definitely get those two. I think we'll also get this one, because I'm going to be sending him out on his own a lot to maximize the fact that he's extremely tanky. So him having a bigger leadership aura is very pertinent, again, because he'll be further away. So that seems a good level up. And we'll be slowly getting to the point where we're going to get only 2 skill points per level, and then, like, I think when you hit level 9 or 10 with this mod, then it goes back to 1 skill point. So the level ups will be slower at that point. Alright, so yeah, let's go ahead and do the battle first. We have 1 battering ram, and this looks like it should be fine. Even though the balance power shows it's not in our favor, I think we'll be perfectly fine. Mostly because Lord Krok's magic can be done while while the enemy units are on walls. Some magic spells you can't cast on a wall. I think it's for balance reasons. I don't really know the exact reason why some magic doesn't work on walls, but Lord Krok's magic does work on walls, so when they're all gathered up on the walls, you just blow them up. So it's really nice and smooth. If you bring him to a siege, he can really decimate the defenses up there. But the catapult's probably going to be a decent problem if he has a good angle on us. We may not want to clump up our troops that much. So we only have 1 battering ram. We don't have any siege towers. That being said, with the game, even if you don't bring siege towers, you can just have your units climb up the walls with ladders, which they kind of just produce when they get there. So I could just have these guys march to this wall, and they'll climb a ladder up to the top, and that'll be how they get up. It's very slow. They go up kind of like just a couple at a time, so they trickle in, so it's not a great way to assault, whereas a siege tower, the thing comes down and they all just swarm out. And that being said, they also are tired if they use a ladder. So not something that is extremely a good idea. You know, it's something you want to do if you are confident anyways, but waiting for siege towers is definitely useful. Let's go ahead and just assault this right side since we're here already. But what we're going to do is... Oh, so this symbol shows that this is the unit carrying the battering ram. You can see this awesome looking magically infused battering ram right here. That sort of looks lizard-esque. Looks like more of a dragon type of figure. Anyway, so if we want to have them drop it, it's just this button right there. And also this little symbol will show which units can actually use ladders, right? Because like Lord Krok is not going to climb a ladder. So he has to go through the gates. So let's pull them over here for now. The the unit that is moving with the battering ram is going to move very slowly. They also tend to get focused a lot when it comes to, you know, arrow fire up top. So generally, I'm going to want it to be a unit with shields. So I think I'm good with it being this unit because they have the shields and they'll be fine. So, right there. And let's go ahead and just have the other unit of Saurus spears march behind them. Let's just have, you know, these two, and, you know, just a simple battle line. Let's have these guys over here. We're going to have them be their own little bodyguard to Lord Croak. And we're going to have Gor-Rok march up, probably on this side. So, oh yeah, when you hover over a Lord, you can see their leadership circle. So that's like a normal circle. See how much bigger his is now? That's what that level up gave us. These two we're going to put in a group on their own. We're going to put him in a group on his own. And we're going to lock the formation so they kind of stay around him. Alright, let's go ahead and start this. Send these guys up there. The rest of these guys we're going to move up. Just holding, so we have them all selected. We're going to hold Alt. Oh wait, I didn't select all of them. Give me a second. Whoop, and whoop. Then we're going to move them up, just right behind. Skinks I actually forgot to deploy better, but we'll just move them there. And then these guys we're going to move up there. I don't have to Alt move because I locked the formation, so I could just click and drag. And Gor-Rok, run up forward. We want him to take a lot of missile fire, so we'll kind of have him stand right there in the open. He's just so good at deflecting missiles with his meaty shield. Alright. So yeah, you'll notice some extra blood effects when I choose to zoom in. So let's check the range on this. We might be able to start hitting some people. These are Skaven slaves, so simple, low-powered one should suffice. This one, the Night Runners, we may want to do a bigger one. No, yeah, we'll do a bigger one. Hey, look, blood! Alright, let's look at this one. It's a little bit more satisfying to watch, I will say. Alright, and let's continue. This is like just the bread and butter of early game, the early game It's a Faction. They're just so good. Oh, they start spawning some units on us. We actually ended up dropping the siege tower because of this. So, or not siege tower, battering ram. Or did I? Oh, I didn't. They dropped it way back here. I must have made a mistake, but it's alright. But yeah, that was interesting. Oh, that's right. I dropped it before. Anyway, if you ever need them to pick up a piece of siege equipment. So, where is it? It's back here, I think. Where is it? I have no idea where this is. Huh. Interesting. I must have misplaced it. The other possibility is they fired on it and destroyed it. Oh no, it's back here. Ah, here it is. So, yeah, I dropped it all the way back here. So if I just left click, or no, right click, they'll go to pick it up. Eventually. Let's just have, oh no, they're on their way. Alright, well, after that mess, I guess we'll just continue using magic because it is, like, we're still gonna win even with this big mistake, but yeah. I usually don't drop siege towers in the beginning, which is why I totally forgot about it, because I dropped it and then I didn't pick it up again, even though I deployed. But we'll just continue popping down spells. We'll put a shield right there just to... There's taking a little bit of missile fire, not a lot, but... Do another one right there. It's the catapults. As I said, those catapults, they have a huge... we actually, to get... We're going to move just right here. That way they can't really get a good angle on us. Alright. Let me know when you guys pick up this battering ram. I also might just start setting people up the walls at this point with ladders, because, you know, this is going to take a while to get there. I can't believe that I did that. But that's fine. So, these guys are already so damaged, I don't want to continue using magic on them. I need 11. I want to do a... Well, yeah, I think I want to do a big one up here, so I'm going to wait for my magic to refill. So you can see we have, when I hover over this, it says we have 30 in the power reserve and 10 in our globe. And when it goes to 11, we now can use it. So we're going to put it right there. That's fine. Alright, I think after this explosion I'm going to start sending people up the walls. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so we won't be able to cast spells for a little bit, so we'll keep, we're going to send Gor-Rok up the walls as well. We're going to send him up this right side. These two we're going to move even closer. These guys we're going to move really close, and we're going to move these guys really close. We were taking a lot of unnecessary casualties due to our mistake, but it's okay. It's a start is just because you start with him, it just makes things so much easier, and it's very forgiving for a beginner when it comes to mistakes. Other campaigns that are forgiving are kind of like High Elves, I think, are very just generally a forgiving faction, especially if you play someone like Tyrion. And you've got, I would say the Empire is probably decently forgiving, especially in the early game. You have a lot of allies around. Did they just open the gate for us? Let's see. Did they? No, they didn't. They're closing. Alright, they're closing. Alright, I think we can... Oh, no, we're one away from a spell. Let's go ahead and... Let's go ahead and put a shield right here. And let's go ahead and move these guys up. I don't want them taking any more catapult fire. Are you guys not going? Oh my word. They are fired from battering ram duty. They can't handle it. Alright, so we've got Gor-Rok finally made his way up top, so let's go ahead and we're gonna actually just go for Skrolk. Gor-Rok needs to find this guy. Okay, here we go. Pop it. Boom, just gone. Yeah, just gone, absolutely gone. Alright. When you kill the enemy lord, the leadership will definitely drop quite a bit, at least for a certain amount of time. I think after a while they could recuperate, but I think at this point they know what's about to happen. Let's send Gor-Rok after this unit that seems to be going pretty strong. I think we can actually probably get these guys just with one low-level spell. Oh, no, we're going here to the spheres. Yep, they're gone. These guys are fresh, but they're starting to fall too. I guess you guys can just climb up the walls at this point. You just go over here, I don't know. Yeah, we'll just... Look at how slow he is. He just trudges along. I guess we just keep on going after the units that are not broken, so like these guys. We took so long for the battering ram to get here due to our mistake that we're probably going to actually... So during a siege battle, there's these towers, right? And you could when you hover over something like this, so they'll shoot in that arc, you'll see this box. Since we control this box now, the tower is ours. Same with this one. And then if you control this box, you control the gate. You can see we're kind of almost controlling the gate. If I were to move a unit down here, we would start controlling it, and the gate would just open for us. So we've taken so long to do this that this is just the case now. We took so long for the battering ram to get here that we could probably just walk in at this point. So if we want to just walk in, all I have to do is just bring a unit down here. I may as well just pop this. He's fighting over there. He's having the time of his life. I guess we'll watch him because we're just waiting again. So let's go ahead and turn the... Look at how big he is. Oh! That shield slam was just so powerful that they had to give up. Oh! I mean, I wouldn't want to be that guy. So anyway, we won, which I kind of expected, even though we lost. It was a messy, mistake-ridden fight, but that's fine. So in siege battles, even if this city doesn't have walls, anytime you win, every unit in the army is destroyed. They're all killed. So we don't have to run anybody down. We can just end the battle, and they're all going to be dead. That actually was a very Pyrrhic or Pyrrhic victory. I need to look up how to say that, how to pronounce it. Maybe I'll do that right now. Alright, so internet. Let's see how this sounds.
Pyrrhic.
Pyrrhic. Alright, cool. So, Lord Skrolk has been killed by Gor-Rok himself, which was nice. I kind of wanted him to be the one that finished him off. Now, as I said, Lord Skrolk is a legendary lord, so he only dies when the faction is destroyed. That being said, this could be the end of the faction. We gained a luck stone. Automatically attached to him because he's the only one it can go on, and it gives him 10% physical resistance. Pretty good. Nothing wrong with that. We will probably replace it later when we get some more of his unique items, though. So, definitely not the cleanest way to take that, but we took it. We are going to occupy it. If we sack it, then they're going to keep their settlement, and I want them to be destroyed as a faction. We could raise it, but I do want to build this up at some point. We could loot and occupy it, but I only have one army, and it's a long distance between here and my capital, and I don't want to run back and forth dealing with rebellions. So we're just going to occupy it, try to keep the public order high. We got a trait. We achieve victory over Skaven multiple times. So you have leadership +3 in fighting against Skaven for the entire army. Nice. We'll see how many Skaven are left in Lustria, though. We got the Luckstone. And yes, so that was basically Gor-Rok killing Lord Skrolk for good, because Clan Pestilence is gone. They have been obliterated. So we also unlocked a new right, which I probably won't do for a while. We need to spend our gold on other things. We have some more level ups, so let's go ahead and level some people up. Still 3 skill points, which is nice, so let's go ahead. And he's already really tanky right now. I will make him tankier. And we're going to give him this for the speed. Alright, so his armor and the active, it gives him speed and some fatigue. Okay, we got a lot of things we could do. I think we're going to continue leveling up his spells, but we could also get 8 Winds of Magic in our reserve, or magic resistance 15%, or the cooldown, or the replenishing of troops. That's also really nice. Even stimulating growth. This is really nice early game too. Just everywhere he goes, if he's, any province that he's sitting in, they just get an extra growth. But we're gonna go. If the Dark Elves are gonna be our next enemy, they may have some heavily armored units. I don't think they will, but it's actually, yeah. Let's just go. Let's go for the middle one. Let's level that up. So make it only cost 9 now, which is very good. I think originally it cost 13 before you go all the way down. Alright, so that's fine. Here we go. So, this has a skink building, and I think, while I'm going to probably move it to a different location eventually, I think this is fine for now. I may want to recruit some skinks. They're pretty cheap, and I do have some gold. I think I am going to recruit some more javelins. I don't think I need the like little clubs and shields, because I got a lot of that. So let's just do some javelins. Let's actually get some skinks in the army. We could... No, we're waiting on that. That's right. We are waiting. We do not want to level up that. So we'll go ahead and skip that notification. I don't think there's anything else we need to do on our turn, but we did interact with them. So he's like... He's a wanderer. He wanders around. I don't know where he is, and he's probably up here. So... Maybe a non-aggression pact. I don't know if I want to fight him or not. We're going to do a non-aggression pact for now. That's fine. And I think that'll be the end of our turn. So, going to... Just finishing off this skill line right here. We are on Unflinching, which grants him Unbreakable, so he never runs away. He plus 12 melee attack and plus 6 leadership. And it is constant, but it is disabled if his hit points are greater than his than 50% of his health. That being said, normally he's probably not going to run when his hit points are above 50% anyways, so he essentially just has Unbreakable. But yeah, this is a very good passive ability. And this allows him to cause terror, which is really good. So causing terror, basically, it makes, as it says, it makes his melee target rout for a short time. Units that cause terror are immune to terror and fear themselves. So he runs in and he just makes everybody scared of them, and they may run away. However, when you rout somebody, when you cause them to run away due to terror, they pretty much will come back, like always. So it's not like a normal leadership break, because a normal leadership break could turn into one that they won't come back, right? They have the flag and the skull. This one, they pretty much always will. Okay, so we have a little dilemma that popped up. The mystical Slann mage priests have devised a new ritual to increase the effectiveness of the blades wielded by your Saurus warriors on the battlefield. However, such advances always come at a price. The ritual will siphon much needed power from the geomantic web, that thing I talked about in the first episode, which I haven't really kept track of because it's not really important right now. Potentially putting the great plan under threat. Will you use it or not? So if I use the magic, it's going to vastly decrease the amount of winds of magic I have at my disposal in all my armies, which is only one right now, but my weapon strength goes up 10% across the board. Or I could do nothing, because I want to conserve the magic. I am going to conserve the magic because I have Lord Gor-Rok, and he is worth more than 10% weapon strength across all my armies, especially since I only have one army. But later in the game, this is actually really good. Alright, but we're going to conserve it. So yeah, dilemmas may pop up every now and then. They're different depending on the faction you play. We constructed some buildings, recruited some units, and war has been declared between the dwarves and a lizardman faction. Alright, so I think there is a minor Skaven faction here. That would make sense to me. We still have a bit to replenish, but I'm going to start moving towards there. As long as I stay in my territory, I will replenish. That being said, I'm going to replenish a little bit less once I leave the garrison. So if you see right now, if you look, you see this is how much they're replenishing. If you hover over this, we'll show you how many turns it will take until they're fully replenished. So this unit's going to be replenished in 1 turn. This one's going to be 2 turns, right? It'll tell you. If I move over here, you'll notice those green bars will go down a little bit. So you can see they just went down. So now, like, this unit, which was 2 turns, is now 3, right? But we're still replenishing, and I really want to get there next turn and root out the Skaven from this area altogether. And then we're just going to have to focus on the Dark Elves. I think we got to move quickly against these enemies, and then we can start colonizing. The reason why is that the Dark Elves are here. We don't want them going too far up here. We also have to worry about Marcus Wolfhard. He's essentially a colonizer coming to the jungles of Lustria to kill lizards, essentially, and take over the jungle and steal their riches. So he was introduced in the latest DLC. We have to deal with him eventually, because he won't like us pretty much no matter what. So, alright, that's pretty much it for this turn, so we'll continue going, right? There's nothing else I need to do. Again, we're still waiting. We're not going to upgrade this yet. Back to the skills real quick. So. Oh, right here. This is one that you have to get after, I think. I don't know if you have to get everyone or if you have to get a couple when this unlocks. Maybe I'm pretty sure you have to get a few before this unlocks. It gives him regeneration and extra hit points. And he also gets a 25% weakness to fire damage. Most regeneration comes with that side effect where they have a weakness to fire damage, which can come into play, especially against an enemy like Marcus Wolfhard. He does have a lot of fire damage at his disposal if he wants to, because there are fire mages that yeah, they can put out a lot of hurt. This is available at rank 20 for pretty much all Saurus Lords. Gives them public order +1 for all provinces, which is really nice. If you have a lot of Saurus Lords that rank 20, this could really help your public order, especially if you get a big empire. Ward save and upkeep reduction for Saurus and Cold One Temple Guards. Ward save, remember, is just all damage. It is like reduced by 5%. He ignores 5% of damage essentially. Magic resistance and missile resistance right here. You'll see these on pretty much every Lizardman Lord and Hero. And I think that's... I guess we could go over the blue skills as well, but I may start cutting out the end turn times. So we're not going to do this yet. We want to see what we deal with in here. So I could have recruited more units, but I want to keep my income high, and I think I'll be fine. This could be bad, though. This is a little bit risky because we don't know. I'm assuming a minor Skaven faction is there, but I don't know how strong they are. They could have a full 20 stack of units. I mean, I doubt that's the case, but who knows. So this is risky, but we're going to do it because we have Lord Croak. Oh, they are not there. Ooh. Do I want to colonize now? This is interesting. The Dark Elves aren't at war with us, but they don't like us. But we might be able to afford to colonize. Yeah. We could also search the ruins first. Then we're going to colonize. So yeah, you can see our army is a lot more injured than what it was. But when you colonize the ruins, you now have to actually like build it up to a first level settlement. So we're going to do that. You may notice this right here has to be a port. Anytime you take a city with this little symbol that shows it has a port, you have to build, well, I mean, you don't have to build it, I guess, but one of your slots has to be the port. That being said, ports are worth it. There was a bit of a nerf that they received in the latest patch, but it was quickly reverted. The community did not like it. So, so ports are definitely worth it. They give a lot of income. Even at, so like a third level port, 300 income, even gives some growth, which growth eventually becomes irrelevant, kind of, when the settlement reaches its full potential, because it doesn't need to grow anymore. Growth can still be relevant if you, if the settlement gets sacked, and essentially it maybe takes the settlement down a level, then growth could be important to still have in the city because it'll build back up quicker. So we have the 2 population surplus required and the 4,000 gold required to build this. This will be really good. It's a really big power jump for this for our capital. 4,000 gold take us down quite a bit. Since we colonized this, do I want to continue getting some skinks? So if I get some more javelins, it's 99, it's basically 100 upkeep. I actually have great income right now. Let's continue actually getting skinks. I think it's okay. I think it's worth it. So, up here, you see this flag. This is a High Elf faction run by Teclis. The Dark Elf faction is run by... oh, what's his name? Oh, I could find his name over here. Pretty sure. Blessed Dread. Oh, wait, no, it doesn't show me. Oh, man, I should know his name. Dark Elves are one of my least favorite factions, so I admittedly don't know as much. Oh, Lokir Felhard. That's his name. Lokir Felhard is leading the Dark Elves. He's a legendary lord, and Teclis up here leading the High Elves is another legendary lord. We definitely want to take out the Dark Elves, and honestly, we kind of want to take out the High Elves, even though they're one of the good guys. We don't want them joining forces with the High Elves in the north on their island, because then if we declare war on them, we're declaring war on a much bigger faction. So you want to get rid of the smaller factions as quickly as possible before they, you know, join up with their brethren. And Chupa Yotl, Mangrove Coast, and Marks of the Old Ones. These 3 are all part of the same province as the capital that we took from Lord Skrolk. They're all same thing, so we do want to unite this whole province. I actually don't know. Let's see. Oh, one thing you can do, which we'll do right now, is I can double-click right here.
You prophesize my death.
And hit the X, and you can see how many settlements they have, right? 2. He has 2 settlements, which means this is it for him. So if we take this out and we kill his armies, that faction's destroyed too. We have to heal up, though, I will say. The Dark Elves are a much more dangerous enemy than the Skaven were. Not just in general, because the Skaven can be very powerful, but the Skaven's early game units are pretty rough. The Dark Elves' early game is much better. Skaven get disgusting once you start building their weapons teams and stuff like that. Okay, so yeah, I think we're just going to stay in here, though. We need to heal. I don't think we're going to continue getting skinks. I don't know how many skinks we want. They're definitely good distraction, but... you know what? No, just to make things smooth for us, let's just continue just keeping our numbers high. We can't recruit any heroes, sadly, but alright, next turn. Alright, so we're at our next turn. We did, I forgot that we were researching this, the recruit rank +2 for skink units. Would have been nice if we had that before we started recruiting a bunch of skinks, but it's okay. Oh, we got a quest, mission issued. So, if we capture 250 battle captives, and we have 15 turns to complete it, we get what is called a blessed spawning, 2 of them, of Pterodon riders with fire leech bolas. So, what is a blessed spawning? It's actually one of the lizardmen things, one of their special things that they have. These quests will come up. If you do it, you gain access to a special way to recruit units right here, blessed spawnings. We don't have any units available, but if we completed that quest, we would have those 2. You click this button, it brings up the panel of the ones you have available. You recruit them for free, and they come instantly. There's no, like, it doesn't take a certain amount of turns. They just come back, or come into your army. They do have an upkeep cost, and they also are better than the standard units in some way. It's like a special version of it. It depends on the unit as to what the special thing could be. Like, you know, maybe, for example, the unit doesn't get tired. It has perfect vigor, which is actually really significant. So, you know, we'll get those throughout the game. Generally, I like to save them for emergencies if I need to recruit an emergency army or something like that. I usually like to do that, but that being said, they're also just good to have in an army just in general, because they're just better. I was thinking during the end turn, I think I'm gonna go colonize this before I go after the Dark Elves. I don't want it to be taken. I'm gonna go into March stance, which means I can't recruit, but I don't really need to. If I get caught, my vigor in battle is tired, and also I cannot retreat, and if I lose, the entire army will be wiped out, and I can't initiate any fights, but I move a lot further. And you can move in regular stance up to your full movement and then decide you want to move further, then go to March stance and move further. So that's not a bad idea too. Let's go ahead and build this port. And another thing is that we did get a population surplus over here because we only needed 1, and that happened pretty fast. I'm going to do this now because we got this going to level 3. I think I'm going to take this to level 3 before I focus on getting it to level 4. Because as I build this up, the growth is going to help a lot. We do have some more research available. This gives recruit rank +2 for source units. I think I'm going to do that, but let's look at the others. Additional tradable resources. We don't have a lot of trade agreements right now. Melee defense +5 for source units is really good, though. I'm going to do that first. Alright. And next turn. So, we're at our next turn. The port was built over here, which is nice because that added 150 to our income and added to our growth. We're going to grow the capital first. That's definitely most important. But before I do that, let's see if I have anything over here I can build. No. Okay, so let's go ahead and spend our money here, I think. Well, actually, before I spend my money here, let's see if I can colonize. Wait, it has an attack symbol. Are there Skaven there now? Nope, okay. Costs 1,049 to colonize, which means we should have enough to take this to level 2. 1600, but if we do that, we won't be able to build this up. But I think taking this to level 2 is actually more important at the moment. But we got this colonized, which is nice. Now our units are damaged again. And since we did that, since we secured this province, it is now ours. We can issue a commandment. So now I'm going to talk about the geomagic web a bit. So the commandment. Anytime you secure a province, you now have access to basically decreeing something across, that's province-wide. That gives you a boost, a bonus. So if we hover over this one, it says income from all buildings, plus 4%, growth, plus 20, and public order, plus 2. This one's going to be probably the one we're going to choose because we want to grow the province still. And that plus 20 growth is very important. Right here, Winds of Magic Power Reserve, plus 1 for all armies, and research rate, plus 2%. A very good one. If you don't need the growth, not bad, nothing wrong with that. Research rate's very important. Winds of Magic, magic is very important for the Lizardmen, so getting more magic across all your armies is very good. Right here, this one's kind of a complicated one, but this is one you put down if you're afraid of plagues, which is something that Lord Skrulk specializes in, but also other Skaven do it too. So it stops plagues. It's like, you think of it like the Black Plague. You put it down in a settlement, it could spread to other settlements. It could spread to armies, and then they just take a bunch of losses. It's annoying. So that helps with that. But the main reason you put this down is if you think that this is a province that's going to be dealing with corruption, because it gives untainted. It also is going to be good for provinces that are kind of on your front line where you're expecting a lot of people to attack you, because it gives you siege holdout time, plus 2, which means you can spend more turns bunkered inside your settlement before you are forced to surrender. And it also gives enemy hero action success chance, minus 10%, which means that if an enemy agent tries to do something to you, it's less chance they're going to succeed. And it gives plus 2 uses for the army ability Holy Stella, which I think only happens if you build walls somewhere, or maybe I can't remember. Oh, you're fine. Are you hungry? Are you hungry? Didn't you eat already? You want this? Anyway, Holy Stella is a AoE that decreases like missile accuracy and missile damage maybe for enemies. So it's pretty good to use. It's a good effect to have. And this is good if for a recruitment province, a province you're going to use to heavily recruit from, because it gives you recruitment rank, gives you minus 15% recruitment cost, and it also gives weapon strength and leadership for the armies in the province. So also a good one to have on your front lines as well. That being said, we're going to go for the growth. Now, you may notice there's some like dots here. So plus 10, and then this goes up to plus 20, right, and plus 30 growth, and everything goes up a little bit as it increases. If we had not taken Oxel, we would not be at Geomantic Web Strength 2, we would be at Geomantic Web Strength 1, and the growth that we'd be getting would be plus 10 instead of plus 20, and the public order would be plus 1 instead of plus 2, right? You see the Geomantic Web by pressing this button. You could zoom out if you want to see it. Since we own this settlement and this settlement, our Geomantic Web Strength went up by 1, right? So the more settlements you connect, so if we were to get this settlement here and this settlement here, the web strength goes up further. It also goes up by building buildings. There's in the building browser for ITSA, I think it's back this way, here it is. It reinforces Geomantic Web. So you can build these to make your Geomantic Web stronger. That being said, it's something that's probably going to occur naturally, which is why the Geomantic Web's one of the more passive faction effects, I would say. You just, like, you conquer things and it just kind of makes it better. You build buildings, it makes it better. And the bonuses, while definitely nothing to scoff at, are not, I would say, game-changing in any dramatic sense. So, all right. So we got some diplomacy here from Techless. He's probably going to ask for a non-aggression pact or a trade agreement. So, I am probably going to reject this. And you may think, why? Because even though the 63 gold is cool, and it will improve relations with him, I kind of don't want to be super good friends with him. I want to take him out. So, if I take the trade agreement, I'm going to have to cancel it, I think like 10 to 15 turns before I actually declare war on him, in order for me not to be treacherous, you know, be a backstabber, and my reliability will go down. So, and I don't think I'm going to take that long to get up there, so let's go ahead and decline this for now. That being said, if you're a newer player, taking that trade agreement and, you know, taking things very slowly is a good way to do things, because you don't want to get caught off guard. I'm going to be expanding probably a little bit quicker than I maybe should, which could be a problem, but that'll also make the campaign probably more exciting. So, but yeah, we're going to go Dark Elves. We're probably going to go Vampire Coast next, because they're going to be... So the Dark Elves are in this section. Teclis is here. Vampire Coast is like here and a little bit further north. I feel like I'd rather take out the Vampire Coast before I go for Teclis, but I guess it kind of depends on who their allies are as well, because that will determine where I go. Alright, so we're at our next turn, and we have a dilemma. We can either get recruitment cost minus 50% for Saurus units for 5 turns, or recruitment cost minus 50% for Skink or Chameleon Skinks for 5 turns. I'm probably not going to be recruiting much of either for the next 5 turns, but we'll just do Saurus Warriors, because I think I have enough Skinks currently.
Your prestige grows,
so we have this guy back.
News of your conquests
Anytime
far
you
and
complete
wide.
chapter objectives, which you can see right here,
Noted by even the most distant of kings
all your
and
chapter
bestial
objectives, you
lords.
know, if you complete these, you get a lot of gold for them. So we got 2,000 for completing this, and we got 4,000 from bonus objectives. And you can see the bonus objectives, like, you know, the primary objective right now is to do 8 of occupying, losing, raiding, or sacking, 8 different settlements, and that's the 2,000. And then anything you do of these gives you extra stuff. So like have a defensive military alliance with one faction, right? We don't have any, so we would get an extra 1,000 if we do that before we complete this. If you were wanting to like min-max how much gold you got, you could really make sure that you were keeping track of doing your bonus objectives before you do the primary objective. I don't think most people do that. I think most people just, you know, they take with, you know, whatever they get. So, go ahead and get out of that, get out of that, get out of that. So we got a lot of gold to work with now. So this is our next one. As I said, the 0 out of 8. We gained a rank. So one thing that happens in this game is that units passively gain experience pretty slowly, but it does happen. So we're going to get one of the items that my mod gives. Extra hit points, extra melee attack, extra ward save, wound recovery time -3, and a ability that gives him a bunch of melee defense, melee attack, weapon damage, and armor piercing damage on himself for 30 seconds. And I think he can only use it once. Yeah, he can only use it once. You can see that there's the little, like, I can't really get to it, but down there. Anyway, there's a 1 next to a little loop that shows you can only use it one time, and then it's gone. So this is like a buff I'm gonna pop before I go up against maybe like an enemy lord or a big unit or something like that. But I get this, and because of my mod, you'll see it will now show up. It's gonna take 1 turn to get there, but it's now on Gor-Rok. I still have another skill point to get, so let's look and see what I'm gonna get here. I think I'm gonna go for the melee attack back here. I could start going for this one, but I'm gonna go for the melee attack. So let's do that. Alright. Sitting here, we'll get the army back to full. But I kind of want to move them over here, and I think they'll still be going back to full anyways, so let's go ahead and move them this way. My enemies are going to be more on this side. They won't be at full. So you might be wondering, why are they not replenishing as much as they were here? The reason why has to do with this building. This building gives additional casualty replenishment rate, and we built this to level 2 and this to level 1. So anytime we're in here, we're going to replenish quicker, this province. Whereas this province, we don't have any of that. We're not going to replenish as quickly here. So that's something to keep in mind. So now that we're at, okay, we definitely want to do this. So that's 800. Got a lot of gold to work with. We definitely want to up our gold smelter to level 3. It gives a lot of another 150 increase in income and gives a lot of extra buffs. Definitely worth it, but it is 4,000, so that is a lot. But it's worth it. It's worth it, definitely. I think bringing this up to level 3 is also worth it. It's pretty much going to be most of our gold gone, but I think this is fine. This is fine. All right, and we don't really have the gold to do anything else, so we'll probably just keep that for now. And yeah, not much else to do. One thing I did want to check though is diplomacy. A defensive alliance. So, I mean, I saw that in our bonus objectives, so that may not be a bad idea if we can try to get it to work. And we're going to be having, if we're going to be going to war with the Dark Elves, and the High Elves, and Vampire Coast, hopefully not all at once, and then we have to deal with Marcus Wolfheart up here. We want to make sure that the factions on this side, and right here, and up here, are not going to be fighting us, because then we're fighting a war on 2 fronts with 1 army. Like, if we beef up this army and just take them up this way, that's fine. We've got like a nice clear path. We can intercept people trying to move into our provinces. But if like the dwarves are angry with us, or the lizardman over here, or Tehenoween, if he doesn't like us, or Nakai, he's over in this area, we're in trouble, because then we'll have too much coming at us. He says we're trusted friends, so let's see if this works. So what I could do is I could try to go for it again and add some payments, right? Offer payments. I don't have a lot to offer, but if I were to offer, let's say we're to offer my entire treasury, right? The likelihood of success is still moderate, but he might accept this. No, not yet, but it's okay. He'll get there. He'll get there. All right, go to our next turn. All right, so we're at our next turn. We have a couple things that happen. So, Clan Mange was destroyed. That is a minor Skaven faction. So, minor factions, I expect them to get destroyed. Some will last, though. So, it's fun to see which ones do. This is another minor lizardman faction that we encountered. I already knew where they were. They're right here. We encountered them because they finally got close enough for our people to, like, make contact. But they kind of are just over here. The dwarves aren't doing so hot, so maybe they'll be taken out by the lizards, which I'm fine with. I think I'm more likely to be friends with the lizards than I am with the dwarves anyway. And I want friends on that side. We have this was upgraded over here in Axolotl. And a trait gained. Oh, I didn't click on it. But he got a trait of strict. So he spent multiple turns in his settlement with low public order, which means he's, you know, had to be a strict daddy about it. And public order +1 in the local province. So he has to be a strict ruler. We are almost healed back to full. I think I want to start moving towards the Dark Elves. I want to stay on the roads. I can go like through here, but it's not good. So if you want to see like this, every color change shows like how many turns it's going to be. So basically 3 turns to attack here. And you see that little symbol with like a glove holding a piece of rolled up paper. That shows that we're trespassing during that movement, which we don't care about because we're gonna declare war on him eventually, anyways. So, but if we go this way, you can see it's more likely. Oh wait, here we go. It's right there. See how little that red? See how short that red movement is? It's very likely this will take 4 turns instead because of that. So it's better to go this way because look the difference in that red line if we stay on the roads. So, but I don't want to go into his territory yet. I want to stay right there. The reason why is because I want to continue replenishing to get to full. So we won't go that last bit of movement. So this right here. Oh, so here's something that's interesting. this is where one of my mods comes in. I don't think I've talked about. One of my mods is allows factions, other factions to recruit defeated legendary lords. So Lord Skrolk, who, if you remember, Gor-Rok took down over here. Clan Fester, which I'm pretty sure is a legendary faction led by Tretch Craventail. It's another Skaven faction, I think. And I think he's like way up here. But maybe I'm wrong as to which faction it is. But anyway, a Skaven faction. Have we encountered them yet? Clan Fester. No, it is a minor faction. Oh, that's funny. So a minor faction recruited Lord Skrolk, so they were the first ones to recruit him. So, a couple reasons why I have that mod. One is so I can play with other legendary lords. So like if Nakai the Wanderer gets destroyed, I can recruit him, which is fun. But also it means that even later in the game, when a lot of factions have been destroyed, you're still going to see those cool legendary lords just working for different factions of the same race. You know, like Skaven aren't going to be working for High Elves. It's going to be just, you know, Skaven working for other Skaven. But so Lord Skrolk has come back to seek his revenge, and we're going to have to probably deal with that again, because while we aren't at war with him yet, it's a neutral faction, we probably will have to declare war on him, because no rats are allowed in the jungles of Lestria. So, something we have to think about. Let's continue building up our settlement over here, so we can get timber, which is good for trading, but I think what I want to do is I want to start building defenses. So this won't actually give us walls. Walls don't happen until level 3. As you can see, it adds walls to the settlement. This one does not. But this one will add more to our garrison. So our garrison right now in Axolotl is 2 Saurus warriors and 3 skink javelins and 1 of cavalry, spear cavalry. Not great garrison, but if we build this over here, we add 2 more Saurus warriors with spears and shields, 3 units of skink skirmishers, which have blowguns, you know, rather than javelins. So they have a lot more ammo. They're worse in melee, but, you know, that's fine. And pterodon riders, which are basically skinks riding these pterodactyl-looking things. So, definitely good. It's especially as a newer player, it is good to have defensive buildings in every settlement, just in case you get surprised. Because sometimes rogue armies can pop up out of nowhere. You might have the entire jungle secured, but a rogue army pops up way over here, and it's like, oh, I don't have walls in any of this because I didn't expect to be attacked. So it's not a bad idea. And also, when you get invaded, like let's say all these settlements along this coastline have walls. If you don't have armies here to respond, an invading force might just ignore this and go deeper into the less defended territories. So, now, that being said, you may notice that we can't build walls in Itza. This is actually good for us, because what this shows in this instance is Itza already has walls. It already has an awesome garrison, because it just does. It's just one of the cities. It's a very important city for the Lizardmen, so it just has that. Some other factions, their capitals like that as well, where they don't have to build walls to get walls and an awesome garrison. It just happens. Basically, we're going to get better garrisons as we level up the settlement, which also happens in other, you know, when you level up a settlement over here, your garrison becomes better as well. So, but we don't have to worry about defensive buildings for it. So it's just like integrated into the settlement. All right, so I think we have. Let's go ahead and just continue building the growth. I think it's worth it. We could save up for like better buildings over here, but I think I just want the growth for now. Let's go to our next turn. We're at our next turn. We researched some technology. We researched the melee defense +5 for Saurus units. So, we'll do our next research shortly. Let's go ahead and look at what we have, the options we have to upgrade. I think we're going to continue focusing mostly on upgrading our main province. One thing we also have to keep in mind is public order. Public order here is going down by 4 turn, which means we will have a rebellion in 5 turns, assuming this doesn't change. That's, you know, a problem. So we'll have to get back to our capital, because rebellions basically always spawn at your capital. Actually, let me rephrase that. Rebellions usually spawn at the main settlement if you own it in a province. So the main settlement in this province is Itza, so the rebellion's probably going to spawn just right out here. So we do have to go back and deal with that. However, he adds public order in a province he's in, so if there's ever a time that we want to just run back and add to the province's public order, we can do that. So the other thing we could do is we could recruit another lord and start building up an army. We have a couple choices. We have a Gor Ancient, which is a very big, awesome looking dude. Source Old Blood, kind of like Gor-Rok, but smaller. And they all have different traits that they come with. You can see that they have a cost and also an upkeep. Along with that, every additional lord that you recruit will raise the total army upkeep by 7%. So my total army upkeep is estimated to increase by another 485. So you can't spam a bunch of armies without taking like a bunch of negatives. You know, you have to be smart with it. We also got some skink lords we could recruit, which is pretty cool. Got another Gor Ancient, got another skink, Source Old Blood. Anyway, a couple good choices. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it yet though, because I'm considering going here, then going here, and then coming back around, and hopefully I'll be in time for the rebellion, because 2 turns to get to here, 2 turns to get to here. Assuming there's no walls, which I don't think there are, I could maybe march and get back there to stop a rebellion. But it's a little risky. The other thing I could do is I could use my gold to... Ooh, I don't have enough. I could cancel this if I want. Use my gold here to start building this building. Because +4 public order, it will be done in 2 turns. I think that's actually worth it. I don't want to have to go back to my province right now. I'm doing a pretty... Generally, once you get your first province, and then, like, especially if you get your second, you just want to, like, kind of, like, stop and build up, and deal with rebellions, level up your lord that way. I'm going a bit more aggressive here, which is fine. It's just riskier. So, yeah, I'm going to want the public order to stabilize without me being there. So I'm definitely going to do that. And then I could start building the grazing pastures, which is a very cool resource, especially with the mod. Gives a growth faction-wide and casualty replenishment for all my armies. Pretty nice. It's only 800 for the first one. It goes up to 3 ranks. So... And I think I'm actually going to just continue using, like, all my gold. And I'm going to go down to 23, because I'm going to get the growth for this province as well. We have a level up for Lord Croak, which we will go for this. We just want to level up these spells, I think. And let's go ahead and start moving towards Chupa-Yotl. I could go for Marks of the Old Ones first. They're actually going to have a rebellion. So actually I'm going to go to Chupa-Yotl because I think the rebellion is going to happen at Marks of the Old Ones. That's just my gut feeling. So... This one gives weapon strength plus 10% for source units, so I think that's even better than a recruitment, because I'm not going to be recruiting for a bit. Alright. Oh, Tehenoween, do you finally want a defensive alliance? Yes, you do. That's what I like to hear. See, he came around. So, something funny happened. So let's deal with the dilemma first. So, blah blah blah. We have to raid for captives and sacrifice them of our neighbors. We would be sacrificing Vampire Coast captives to gain Winds of Magic Reserve plus 14 for all armies, or we can leave them be and make the Vampire Coast like us more. No, we're definitely going to sacrifice the Vampire Scum to get more magical power. That makes sense to me. Yeah, we're doing that. Okay, so I was wrong. The rebellion happened right outside Chupayatl. And not only did it happen outside of there, they took over the settlement. I am actually at war with them. Generally, anytime there's rebels, like all factions will be at war with them. But I think I'm going to ignore them for now, because they're a rebel faction. I'll just kill them later, right? I think I'm going to go straight for the Mark of the Old Ones. And I think after I take that, that'll be a decent place to end the episode. Let's see, let's see. Yeah, we're going to declare war. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I need to do it. Ooh, I'm going to fight this. Let me just get another save, but I'm going to fight this because they have, even though it's very much in our favor, just to show Dark Elf units. Different enemies. Okay, well, we don't need to gamble. 22 is a lot to start with, so let's just start deployment. We have kind of an interesting looking map here. Definitely tell this is a Lizardman city. Yeah, this is a Lizardman city, so shows the Dark Elves are not where they're supposed to be. So we have a bunch of skinks. Sadly, they don't have Vanguard. Some other skinks in the game later will have Vanguard, which is nice because you can deploy them like up here. So we're going to do, he'll be his control group. We're going to have these two be a group, and then we'll have these guys be a group, and then we'll have these skinks be a group. That's fine. Okay. Let's go ahead and bring everybody back. This is not going to be a hard fight, but it's going to be... I'm mostly going to use it to showcase the Dark Elf, their look, you know. Let's bring these guys back in reserve. Lord Croak will be on the right flank with these two units as bodyguards. We'll do that. We're going to lock the formation, He's going to be on the left side looking for lords. Alright. Or, I mean, there's really no lords here. I think there's like a captain or something. So, we're going to not put these on skirmish mode. It's not going to be that big of a deal anyways, so let's go ahead and get everybody selected. Start battle, alt, move them forward. And while we do, let's look at what the Dark Elves look like. So, over here, we've got some cavalry. They are on horses. They got kind of a, you know, they're edgelords, right? Over here, we've got crossbowmen with shields. I actually like how these guys look. They use the crossbows, the shields, like to help them trade with other archer units, and then they will shoot in that little notch. I like how they look a lot. Got some Blackguard Corsairs. These are like Lokir's Felhart's main unit. We got a Death Hag. That's their hero unit. That's like leading the army in this garrison. Over here we got some more crossbowmen with shields and some more Blackguard Corsairs. And then back is another unit of Blackguard Corsairs. So the cavalry chart, I'm not really paying attention to the fight too much because I don't really need to. But I guess I'll do an explosion. You know, what the hell. That's not even going to hit very well. So you can cancel. See how I canceled that explosion? I can cancel it by just doing... as long as you do it... So I should have canceled that one. But as long as you do it before the countdown is done, you can cancel it with a different spell cast. So where is Gor-Rok? Gor-Rok, go fight her or something. And get some speed while you do it. Again, we're not really paying attention like we could be. And here we go, we'll put a shield over right here. And then we'll do a big explosion right here. And let's go to cinematic view. Oh, I feel so bad for them. And look, we're not even affected by it. Are they running already? Where's Gor-Rok? Gor-Rok, buddy, are you fighting someone? Oh, you are. Hey. Not that we need to run anybody down. So. Just look at him go. He's not going to be able to catch her at all. But he looks menacing. Just, you know, very far away. Look how fast she is compared to him. Alright. Anyway. That's how the Dark Elves units will look. They're like one of my least favorite factions. They might be my absolute least favorite faction. But they're very good. So. Yeah. I mostly like their crossbow with shields. I think they're really cool. They're just so edgy. Alright, but we'll end the battle. Stop wasting time. We actually probably lost more than we would have if we just auto-resolved it. But that's what happens when you don't pay attention. Which is fine. And since this was a garrison fight, they are all going to die. We didn't have to run them down at all. So, that's nice. A decisive victory. Got some gold. And yeah, we're going to occupy this. Even though we lost more than we should have, we're going to regenerate by the next turn. So, after that fight, we actually have enough to do both now. Oh wait, no, that was last turn. So, still the same. And yeah, we're going to do this too. Okay. I think that it is a decent spot to end. We've already gone decently long. We have secured our first province finally by colonizing Subatoon. We took out Lord Skrolk, the Master of Plague, although he's now working for somebody else. But that faction was destroyed at the very least. We took the Dark Elves with a surprise attack. They weren't doing so hot. They had some troubles already, but we took their last settlement, which means, or actually, was this their last settlement? Ooh, let's figure that out. Yeah, that is their last settlement. So, oh, and that guy's got, oh man, the Dark Elves are having a big problem. They're probably going to be dead by the time our next turn happens. And, this right here is the rebels, Dark Elf rebels that took over the settlement of Lokir Felhard. So he has no settlements left because of that. So next episode, we're going to go after Chupayotl, get rid of the Dark Elf rebels. We'll also make sure that he's dead if he hasn't died, to make sure that faction is destroyed. Then we're going to start looking up towards the Vampire Pirates, Teclis, probably the Vampire Pirates first. That way, if I take this coastline, then Teclis won't really have a place to expand and run away. So if I take that, we'll have Tehenoween at our back, and we can just go straight for Teclis after that, which will be nice. However, we have to worry about Marcus Wolfhart up here, because he may be a problem, assuming that he's doing well. Maybe he's not doing well. I don't know. If he's not doing well, it's easier for us. So that will be the end of today's episode. I'll see you next time.